Hello everyone, and welcome to another Hyrizon video. Bit of an interesting day today considering it is a Thursday and a blog post was released. It was also released really early in the morning, but either way, let's hop right into it. Today's blog post is called An Introduction to Building NPC Behaviors. In this article, they dive into the overview of how Hytale's behavior scripting system provides ways to bring NPCs and creatures to life. Throughout this blog post, the main example that they're going to be using is the chorks. Also, something to keep in mind is that all of this is work in progress and can very well be changed in the future, so yeah, with that said, let's jump right in. So the first thing we're shown is a Chork chieftain inside of the Hytale model maker. It then says, after a creature has been designed and its model and animations have been created in the Hytale model maker, the NPC developers are tasked with bringing it to life using the behavior scripting system. Now, the behavior scripting system uses JSON scripts that call on modular behavior elements. This allows you to change how the NPC perceives the world and how it reacts to various situations. It can trigger things like animation, changes in state, and more. An example of this is if a mob gets attacked, it flees, or attempts to defend itself. A bit of a more sophisticated one would be an NPC chases a player after it's damaged, or it searches around for things like food. Next, it quotes the developer Joseph Griffith, saying, "We use building blocks to create an NPC from the ground up. We have sensors that are how an NPC interprets the world around it, and that's how it decides what it wants to do. Then we have actions and motions. These are how they will interact with the world, or their target, or whatever it is that they're focusing on. We combine these to build up components and templates from which variants can quickly and easily be derived." We are then shown a picture that features a snippet of script that causes chorks to spring into action when they see the player. This script handles several elements of this interaction. It triggers an alerted animation, which helps the player understand that they've been spotted. It also initiates a beacon response that causes other chorks within a certain radius to be alerted to the player's presence too. The exact details on this interaction can be precisely tweaked, but the overall implementation is grounded in top-level templates that are common to most NPCs. With the modular approach, it makes it much easier to implement entirely new NPCs or creatures. Griffith then says, when you script an NPC, you don't need to specify things like swing a sword or move X distance to the right. He explains that simply applying an abstract component like flee or seek is enough. The behavior system then handles the basics of carrying out the desired action. At the most basic level, the easiest way to create an NPC is to use existing templates, he says. These templates are made up of components that we build out of sensors, actions, and motions to make it easy to reuse behaviors across multiple scripts. An example of this is sound detection, Joseph explains. This uses a combination of sensors that allow an NPC to interpret its environment. When you drop an NPC into the world, it should be able to cope with environments that it hasn't been specifically scripted for, at least to some degree, he says. An important feature of this whole system is high reusability, says developer Eric Reinhardt. It is easy to modify existing behaviors, replace parts, and it's also easy to build up something new. For someone that wants to mod things or create content, the advantage is that it's easy to make simple modifications, Eric continues. But it also allows modders to change everything down to the smallest detail. An example is now on your screen. By adding a few extra parameters to the Chork Hunter's behavior script, we can add bears to the list of creatures that cause them to enter an alert state. So now we have a Chork Hunter that yells at bears. Also, this is an example, and it may not appear in the final game. Although this does provide an example of how straightforward it is to introduce new details to the creature's behavior. Often the behavior set for a new NPC will be mapped out by the design team before it comes to be implemented. Sometimes this means adding new features to the behavior system that then expand the possibilities of the system further. Occasionally, however, surprises during development will lead to the addition of new behavior quirks. Some small pieces get added during the process, Joseph explains. For example, chorks have a sparring behavior where they start punching each other. When I was implementing this, a defeated chork would change state. Sometimes they'd immediately switch to a nap state. This was funny because it looked like they'd been knocked out. I implemented it properly, and currently sparring chorks will knock each other out after a fight. The team's intent is to create creatures and NPCs that contribute to the immersiveness of the world. By learning how each of these mobs react to the player, they can come up with creative ways to interact with them. For example, chorks have a particular fondness for discarded meat. How you choose to take advantage of this in-game is completely up to you. The team has found that combining lots of simple behaviors can produce a surprisingly lifelike result. I created a script for a Chork archer, and was trying to test how well the archer fires, Eric says. This was the first time we had the possibility for NPCs to switch weapon. It was amazing to try to pursue this archer, and then, when you were close enough, he would turn around and attack you with a melee weapon. Having these really simple actions combined together was really rewarding. In the clip on screen right now, you can see an example of several simple Chork behaviors working together. The Chork is napping outside when it begins to rain. This triggers a change of state from asleep to awake, at which point the Chork decides to seek out somewhere warm. He then moves to the nearby campfire and sits down. Several different elements of the Chork's behavior script are involved in creating this movement, but taken together, they create a sense of the creature's personality. The Hytale team's goal with this behavior system is to furnish the player with immersive movements like this, and we're excited to see what modders can come up with when they get their hands on it. Here are a few more examples of NPC behaviors that you might run into while exploring Orbis, such as Quebec sunbathing, because they actually do that instead of eating or drinking. You may also run into goblins throwing bombs. They tend to take care of their problems that way, which is a problem all in itself. Anyway guys, that was it for the Introduction to Building NPC Behaviors blog post. If you want to read the whole thing, you can check it out down in the description below. As well, if you liked this video, you can leave a like, and a subscribe is always appreciated. And if you want to get to know me and the community, you can go down to the description and check out our Discord as well. So anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, signing off, Fezzy the Frog.